welcome to the Doom Buggy Diaries. I'm Malia.
And I'm Nicole, and we're your host, your ghost host.
Today, we're going to be ranking...
What are we ranking? I gave you options. I don't even know what we're ranking. We'll figure it out in a
Hollywood
second.
Studios. We're ranking Rise of Hollywood Studios.
Yeah. She just kind of came up with We're trying to come up with an idea for today's episodes, and I gave her the idea of ranking Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, and I guess we're going with Hollywood Studios today.
Yeah, so we got news to start off. There's a couple things. But the biggest is the new lounge in Epcot. It's called Geo 82. It's adult only. I can't even go. You have to be 21 and older. So whatever. But it opens June 4th, so we finally have a date on when that's opening. And we're going to touch on some of the drinks and food. So she's going to start with the drinks.
Yeah. I'm going to start off with the drinks just because half the food I can't even pronounce if I'm being completely honest and transparent. So yeah, here are some of the drinks. We have the caramelized leek martini, the brown buttered old fashioned, which sounds really good. Clarified New York sour. Oh my goodness, not salad. Highbrow Batanga, I think I'm saying that right. I don't know. The peach shrub whiskey smash, a walk through the garden, which is also non-alcoholic, so that's nice. Manhattan in the morning, which is a cold brew mocktail, so that's non-alcoholic as well. The drinks, ignore the dog in the background.
I can't stop him. Yeah.
I mean, we could just bring him in here, but
he would freak out.
The drinks sound really good so far, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I saw some pictures, which I haven't even shown her. I just saw it and was writing all this down, and they look pretty good. There's one that looks like has bubbles on it or something. Ooh. I don't even know, but it looks pretty cool.
The brown butter old fashioned sounds really good.
I want to try the Manhattan in the morning. I can't get in, but I don't know. I like the coffee. I want an espresso martini so bad.
I've never had alcoholic coffee, so.
Oh, and I tried, side note, when we went to visit you, I think.
Yeah.
Was it then? No, I don't even know. Whatever. We went and there was a, what was it called? It was Belgian, cold brew or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was an alcoholic coffee. It was really good. It didn't even taste like there was alcohol in it, which was kind of scary, but
yeah,
it was really good. Anyways.
I'll have to try it.
I hope it's there next time.
I hope so.
It's really good. And now I'm just gonna tell some of the food. I think there's more on the menu, but I just wrote down some of the cool things I thought looked cool.
Yeah.
So there's cannellini hummus, which I guess is just a fancy hummus. I don't know. Fungi flatbread. I think it's got mushrooms and spinach or something on it. I don't know. Jumbo lump crab gâteau with caviar garnish. So it's a crab cake with caviar. I don't know. I can't talk either. And then there's a truffled ahi tuna. So it actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah, all of these are seafood. I'm not big on seafood. So I hope there's other options in the future if this is not all the food, but as someone who's not a big seafood eater, I'd probably mainly come for the drinks.
I like crab cakes, so that sounds really good. I haven't seen a picture of that, but I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah.
And then I'll just touch on this quickly because I read it again. Tokyo Disney is getting an overhaul, so apparently their Adventureland and their version of Frontierland is getting completely redone. And I saw something, none of it's confirmed. They put out concept art or something where Big Thunder Mountain was gone, Aquatopia, and Jungle Cruise was gone, and the Tiki Room, I think. I don't know, but there's a lot of big changes coming, so.
I hope that doesn't happen to ours, because
I'm sure it will.
I would cry.
But Tokyo Disney.
Yeah. Tokyo Disney does whatever they want, and it's fine.
Yeah, they're cool, I guess. So.
Yeah. So now we are going to start ranking some rides. First up, we're going to start with Sunset Boulevard, and that includes Rockin' Tower of Terror, Rockin' and Tower of Terror.
Yeah, those two.
Yeah. So yeah. We're going to rank them off of the same three that we always do. The queue, the theming, and how fun it is. I'm really excited for this ranking or this list because all the rides here are really fun.
There's some good hitters.
I can't wait to find out what comes up on top.
I think I know.
But I have a general idea, but still.
Yeah, every time I think, I'm like, Hollywood Studios ranks like 3rd or 4th on my favorite, but I'm like, I feel bad putting it because there's such good rides here.
I think
don't know.
You'll like, they're just so good. The rides
are good, but like the park is
very hot.
It is a very hot park. So
yeah.
You want to start off with Q for Rockin'?
For Rockin' the Q, I'm going to give it an 8. There's some things that could be better. Actually, I'm going to give it a 7. There's some things that could be better. But I like the entrance. When you're walking in, there's that giant guitar, but then most of it's outside. Or not most of it, but I think it's like a good half and half is outside. And then you get inside, and then the, I can't think, pre-show. Yeah, then you get in, and then there's the pre-show, and it's like, how about some backstage passes? And then you go in. I really like how you can see the ride take off. That part's really cool, and it's also one of the rides where you can see their tower, which is a position that a lot of rides have. It's the only ride where you can actually see their tower, like consoles and stuff like that. It's really cool. But yeah, I give it a 7 because it could be better. It's not the best, but it's really good.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna also give it a 7. The one thing from my Disney College program that like I remember is the backstage tour for this. I like won a thing to go do it. It was like 6:30 in the morning. I don't know. And we got to like go in the pre-show, and what's really cool, I don't know, just a fun fact, is that the pre-show is like soundproof. You can't hear, if you're standing in the pre-show room, you can't hear the people like looking at, which is weird.
That's weird.
I don't know why, but yeah, and there's no audio in there. It's just another weird thing to think about, that like it's dead silent in that room, even though it feels like, I don't know. Yeah, I like the queue. I like the pre-show. The pre-show is probably what brings it up. I think it's cute. And just like watching the ride take off is pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and do theming next. I think the queue is great, and I think like where you launch is great, but the ride is a dark ride, so it's like, I don't know, there's not a lot in the ride, so I'm gonna give it a 6 because I think it's better than average, but there's not a lot.
I'm debating between a 5 and a 6 because I don't want to bring it down to a 5, but at the same time I almost don't want to rank it a 6. So I'll just do a 0.5. I'll do 5.5. I think the fact, the pre-show and the when you like first get into the queue and you get in your groups and things like that, I love that area. But when you're on the ride, there's not much to it. There's the signs and there's the music, of course, but that's really all it is. And then, of course, the ride itself is really fun, but there's not much theming on that aspect of it. All the theming, I feel like, is in the queue or once you get off.
Yeah, but I agree with that. So, I'm going to go for fun.
And then for fun, I'm going to rank it high. I'm going to give it a 9. It's one of my favorite rides in Disney. It was my favorite ride for the longest time. Next to Tower of Terror, they were tied for first place. Yeah, I'm going to rank it a 9 because I always have fun. And I think, like, the first time I rode it, I passed out. But, yeah.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it a 9. I was going to do, like, a 9.5, but there's better.
Yeah.
There's more fun rides. Like, yeah, not just in this park, but, like, I don't know.
In general.
So, yeah. It's really fun, but it's also kind of short. So, the next ride, which I'm really excited about, is Tower of Terror. I'm going to start off with Q. And I think this is one of the best queues in all of Disney World.
I 100% agree with that.
I'm going to give it a 10. I mean, there's, like, so many Easter eggs, and, like, when the fog is on. I mean, you're, like, immersed in the queue the second you walk through. The whole thing, you're immersed. The pre-show is great, and then what's it called? What is that room called? Like, once you leave the pre-show, boiler room.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's just all so themed, and the cast members also bring the ride to life, so I really like that ride in the queue.
I'm going to rate it a 10 too, because, again, it is quite literally, in my opinion, one of the best if not the best themed queue in general. It seems like it goes fast. That's just me though. Like, I genuinely feel like the queue for this ride goes by very fast, very quick.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's because it changes so much.
Yeah.
Like, you're outside, and then you're inside, and then you're in a different part inside.
Yeah. I agree with that full-heartedly. Okay.
Okay.
Alright. And then for theming, I'm gonna give it a 10. Again, throughout the entire ride, it keeps to the theme. There is no other ride that I feel like does that throughout the entire, both ride, queue, everything. And even because I got the chance to ride it by myself, like I got to go through the pre-show all by myself, things like that. I didn't do a backstage or a tour or anything of it. I just was the last guest on the ride. And the theming kept up. It wasn't like, because you know how some rides the people also make up the theming, or like make up the ride, like the audience that's with you. I don't know. That's just how I feel about some rides. But anyways, it just kept up. It was nice. And then, yeah.
Yeah, so I have a feeling we're going to be 10s across the board.
Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to rate theming a 10 for all of the above. And I'm also going to rate fun
Go
a
ahead
10.
and put it. I'll go ahead.
I mean, like, I knew this ride was my favorite, but I'm also, like, thinking about it, the theming is just so good. I mean, and the ride is long enough to where, like, you wait 45 minutes, you feel like the ride length is okay for waiting that long. And it's different every time. I forgot the, like, drop algorithm is different, so
yeah,
that's really cool.
I rated it a 10 as well. It is a really fun ride. I have never had a ride where, like, that made me feel the way that tower does. And it's, like, also good for kids. It's not like acrophobia at Six Flags. Okay, hold on. I personally believe it's good for kids because the fact that it's not just one drop, oh, you're scared. No, it goes up and down. It's fun. I don't know. I didn't ride it as a kid, so I can't say anything.
This is the only ride in Disney World where I still get nervous to go on it.
Oh.
Like, okay, I guess, like, thrill ride.
Yeah. No, like, I get that.
Where I'm like, oh, here we go. Yeah. Like, I don't know, it's just great.
Especially when you're buckled in and it feels like you're gonna come out of your seatbelt. That part makes me nervous, but other than that, like, that first drop always makes my stomach sink.
Yeah. It's a great ride.
So for Q, this is for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. For Q, I'm gonna have to give it a 8. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8. No, I lied. 6.5.
You went down a whole point and a half.
Yeah, I know. Just thinking about it, I had to rethink some things. It's mostly outside. Depending on what time you go and all of that, but majority of it, if you're going midday, it's outside. And then there's not much covering if it rains, so you're kind of just stuck in the line while it's raining. There's not much of a queue outside in general, like much to look at. You can look at the Chinese theater, but that's about it. And then when you get inside, there's the posters, and I think the posters are really cute. The pre-show is my favorite part of the ride, and then once you get in from the pre-show, there's, like, little bits and pieces to look at, and then also, I don't know if you would count it as the queue, but when you get off the ride, there's, like, the Potato Land area and stuff like that, but I think it could be a lot better, in my opinion, so.
Yeah, I'm sitting here, like, thinking, what am I gonna give it? But
Because usually we do, like, or when we rode it, usually it goes by really fast. Because we're, like, I think we usually go during rope drop.
I don't know. I'm going to give the queue a 5.
Or I've only rode it with the virtual queues. I don't think I've ever, like...
Virtual queue?
Back when it had a virtual queue.
We weren't there for that.
Okay, maybe
She's tripping. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. Because I don't remember ever, like, fully waiting in line. Or at least for long.
I don't know. I did on my past trip. So I'm just thinking about that, which wasn't great. It moved extremely slow, which that's not the queue's fault, but I think it's average. I would even be tempted to go lower than that, but I like the pre-show a lot, so that's really
the song gets stuck in your head.
And I guess this is more theming, which I guess I'll go ahead and rank. I'll give theming, I'm going to give it a 7. I was going to go up to 8, but it's just like from the pre-show on is all the theming. There's none really in the queue that much. But the pre-show is great, and I like you're stepping into the cartoon world, you know. And the whole ride theming is great, so I'm including that. And then when you get out, you're walking back through into, like, the real world. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that part is really great. So
I'm going to rate it a 7 as well. Only because I agree with her full-heartedly. Like, I think that from the pre-show on, that's when it really gains theming. And I absolutely love the story. Like, I love how it keeps the story throughout the entire ride. And, like, for example, if you keep an eye out, if you're, like, one of the last carts, I guess, or train things, you can see Pluto trying to keep up with them with the picnic basket. And it's really cute. So, 7. For fun, I always have fun on it. I'm going to give it a 9. It is one of the most fun rides, but also because you can, like, I like the part where it's, like, you're, like, dancing with Daisy and stuff like that, and then you're underwater. There's not much drops to it, but I feel like in that sense, like, or drops or anything like that, in that sense, it's, like, kind of down one. It depends on what you count as fun, but I feel like not all rides needs to be a thrill ride in order to be fun, so... 9.
Yeah, fun is more like enjoyable.
Yeah.
They kind of go hand in hand. I'm gonna give it an 8 because I do really like the ride, and I also feel bad because the other 2 categories, I wish they were ranked higher because I really enjoyed the ride. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a must do. I think Hollywood has like 4 must dos, and I think this is one of them. So I always enjoy. This. So.
Like, on different levels, I feel like both Tower and Mickey and Minnie's for fun, or not Tower, Rockin' and Mickey and Minnie's are, like, on the same level, but also they're 2 completely different rides, so it's hard to rank them if you put them side by side.
Right. And then the last ride that's, like, kind of not in a land, I guess, is Star Tours. So I'll rank the queue first. I'm thinking because... I think the queue is pretty cool. It's not, like, interactive or anything, but you're walking under the AT-AT.
AT-AT.
The AT-AT.
AT-AT.
And then they do, like, the bag check, and there's, I don't know, was C-3PO in that? I don't know. They have the droids, but...
I forget about the queue, honestly.
But I think the queue is cute, and, like, me, I didn't ride it last time, I don't think, or I rode it once, and I'm trying to remember it. Yeah. But I think it's better than I'm giving it credit for, so I'm going to give it a 6 because I think it is above average. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say a 6 as well. Just because you're not in the queue long enough. The wait times on this ride is, like, immaculate because the fact that there's not, nobody rides it and it's a show. So, like, if you're waiting, it's not going to be long at all. And then also just, like, you're walking under the AT-AT, and then also the animatronics are really cute. Like, I love the C-3PO one, and then it is R2-D2, I had to remember, because, yeah. And then you also get to, well, that's not Q, so we'll just wait for that. Okay. On that note, theming. I'll give it, for theming, I'm gonna give it an 8. Because it is Star Wars themed. Like, the whole thing, like, it stays on theme and stuff like that. There's not really a time it doesn't. It's like, I'm gonna give it a 7. Sorry.
You're like talking yourself down.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna give it a 7. I don't think it's as high as an 8 because there are some better themed things out there. But also, for it being just what it is well themed.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, like, bringing it lower, but I already brought it low. But, yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think, because this is not in my must-do. I don't think it's a must-do.
Yeah.
But I think that the ride itself is underrated. I don't know why people don't ride it. Because, I don't know.
It's fun to me, but also I don't get motion sick, and a lot of people do end up getting motion sick on this ride because of the screens and your seat moving and all of that.
I'm gonna give theming a 6. I think it kind of goes hand in hand with, like, the fun rating, because you can be picked as, like, the bad guy or whatever they're trying to catch.
Yeah.
So I think that that's pretty cool, and the queue is good, so yeah. For fun / enjoyability, I guess, I don't ride it that often, but I think it's a good ride. I mean, you can ride it over and over again. The re-rideability is really good.
Yeah,
because they have the different...
So many different scenes that you can get, and they just added, like, 8 more.
I'm trying to decide. I'm going to give it a 7.
For fun.
/ enjoyable.
Yeah.
I don't
For
want to give...
fun. We call it fun, but it's enjoyable. It's fun. Yeah.
7 feels high.
Yeah, this is gonna go out to everybody. Like, I'm not gonna rate this the fun part for just myself, because one, y'all may be able to ride it over and over again. I could not. My body just would not let me. It is fun for what it is. The ride seats move on its own, and, like, it feels like you're actually flying and stuff like that through the air or whatever. And then also you get to be the rebel spy, like, who's here, the rebel spy, whatever. But also a lot of people get motion sick because it's a screen and because it's 3D. Because they give you glasses that you wear and all of that. So I'm gonna give it a 6.
Fair enough.
For Rise of the Resistance, this is one of my favorite rides in Hollywood Studios, in my opinion. For Q, this is a very fun ride, and I think everyone should ride it. But all of it's outside. There's no shading whatsoever until you get inside, and they'll, like, ask you how many's in your party or whatever.
No, the indoor starts sooner than that.
Well, yes, but there's not really, like, there's stuff inside and all that.
Yeah, but at least it's not outside, not all of it.
Okay. Most of it's outside, though. Like, a good chunk of it's outside from what I've... Anyways.
There's so many twists and turns inside. But there's also so many outside. But I'm saying that, like, I think you're forgetting some of it.
Yes, I am. And I'm gonna bring it to a 7.
You can rate it. I was just saying.
I know. I'm thinking, because once you get in... I don't remember much of the outside portion. I remember there being a lot. But the inside portion is good. Like, because I'm trying to think. Oh my goodness, it's been a minute. Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8. There's a lot of outside, and, like, you're kind of stuck if you, like, need to leave or whatever. I feel like most of the ride queues outside, from what I remember. Yeah, but the inside portion's really great. I really enjoy it. There's the stormtroopers, then there's There's a pre-show with Ray and all of that.
Oh, there's so many different.
That's what I'm trying to think, because there's so many different pre-shows. There's so many different little things that happen. So it's like hard to remember. But now that I'm thinking about it, you go inside, you do the pre-show with Ray, and then next thing you know, they're like, okay, get on the ship or whatever, and you get on the ship, and then it like takes you through the skies and through space, and then you get captured, and then you go through that room, and it's the stormtroopers, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna need you to get on, the red or the blue side or orange, whatever. So,
yeah.
But it's really fun. Or it's a really fun queue, really nice.
I was gonna rate the queue low, and then I forgot I have to include the pre-show in it.
That's what I was.
I'm gonna give it an 8 too. I think the queue itself is like a 5. I was gonna rate it 5, and then I had to remind myself that the queue also includes on the ship, and then all the stormtroopers, and then when you're on like the base, the bad people, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you go into the room, and they do the lightsaber thing.
Yeah.
Bust their, I don't know, whatever. They break you out. I'm like, there's just so much to it where I can't give it a 5. So I'm gonna give it an 8, just
because where you're inside and after the pre-show and all of that, during like that first pre-show and anything after, it's amazing, really well done.
Yeah, for theming, I'm also gonna give it an 8. I was gonna go lower, but like I said, the queue, I don't like the queue, but the pre-show and the theming of the pre-show and the queue after the first pre-show is really good. So, and the whole ride seemed really well, except it kind of breaks a lot. So, but whatever, it's max potential.
That's the ride itself, though. That's not really.
Yeah, but also like the big blasters used to move. They don't move anymore. Sometimes Kylo Ren doesn't work. Sometimes the lightsaber thing doesn't work. It's just like there's so many moving pieces that they kind of overdid it, I think. But it's a great ride, so I'll give it an 8.
I'm gonna agree with you on it's an 8. Like, there's a lot that we're agreeing on in Hollywood Studios. This is one of them. The theming for Rise of the Resistance, again, the queue brings it down a few points. But, literally, I love the idea that you feel like you're moving when you're on the ship. It's not like a bunch of screens moving. You're actually moving. And then the cast members, mwah, chef's kiss. And, like, they never break character. I've never seen them break character. They probably have to other people, but at least to me, they've never break character. I really enjoy the theming. It doesn't break the theming. Like, the theming doesn't break whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Immersion. That's the word. Yeah. Anyways, I forgot it was my turn. For fun, I am going to give it a 9. I always have fun on this ride. Like, genuinely, it doesn't have, like, obviously, hold on. Let me gather my thoughts before I speak. The rewritability of it does have some, because, like, for example, you can go in different areas. It's one of those free moving rides where, like, or trackless rides, so it's not like there's, like a set track or anything like that, but also each cart you get on is different. So, like, there's one where you'll actually fly up and go into the not into the AT-AT, but come face to face with the AT-AT. And it's really cool. So, and then there's a drop and all of that. So, yeah, 9. Anyways, your turn.
I'm gonna go 8 across the board. Yeah, that's still really good. I really like the ride. I think it's really fun. It's long enough. There's only that one drop, so the thrill isn't super there, but I still think it's very enjoyable. Yeah. And, you're looking every which way. Things are happening all around you. So, yeah, I think I'll give it an 8. And, yeah, next up is the Millennium Falcon. This one is going to be hard because not a lot of people like this ride.
Me being one of them. Actually, I don't dislike it. I'll say that. I don't dislike it. It's just not one of my favorites.
I really like it, and I feel like it's... My dog's barking again. I feel like it's underrated because, well, also, the fun part of it, I'll get to that later, but it's so good when you have 6 people, which we do.
Yes.
So, it's, like, we're all just yelling at each other. I don't know. We'll get there, but for the queue... None of it's outside. Well, I guess the little tiny part, but it's really not that much. I actually really like the queue. Most of it's indoors. You have the little pre-show and then all the different ramps and stuff. I think it's pretty cool. And then you're like getting on. It's almost like you're getting on an airplane, like that little walkway. The floor like pops and stuff. I think it's really cool. And then you have you're in the Millennium Falcon. You can't beat that. So I'm actually going to give the queue an 8. I really do like the queue of this ride, even if it's underrated or... people don't like it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Queue, it's a really good queue. It is one of my favorites, again, just because most of it's indoors, but also I love the fact that when you're walking up the ramp, there's windows, so you can actually see outside and, like, see the Millennium Falcon and be like, oh yeah, I'm about to get in that. Also, the queue goes by fast. At least it does to me. It never feels like I'm waiting too long on that ride. And maybe it's just because I haven't ridden it enough, or like maybe it's been a minute. But I always enjoy waiting for that ride. Even though it's not my favorite, it's still a decent queue. Like, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy waiting for it. For theming, I'm going to give it... I'm going to give it a 7. Because it's themed very well. It feels like you're, getting into the Millennium Falcon and stuff like that. And the pre-show's really cool. Which I probably should have added to that with Q, but oh well. The pre-show's really cool when the animatronics work. And then also with that, yeah, when you walk in to the Millennium Falcon into your little pod, it really feels real. And then there's also a Chewy mode, which you can...
We've never done that, actually.
Yeah, I want to.
We should do that.
We should try it this time.
Theming, I am also in agreement. I think it's a 7. Yeah, the queue is great. I think the queue gives it the most, and like the little where you can play the chess.
Yeah.
You can sit there and take a picture, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. The camera looked like it was freaking out. It might just be my phone. Oh well. So theming, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7. Like I said, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, now on to fun, which I think we're gonna disagree.
Yeah.
I think if you're alone, this is not a must-do. Because you won't be the pilot. But I also have, like, grown to really like the other jobs. Because, you have pilot, the gunner, and then an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the pilot's really fun, and everybody says, that's the best one. But I just like pressing the buttons and doing stupid stuff. So, like, I enjoyed not being the pilot sometimes. So, with 6 people, I think this is a 10, a must-do. If you have a full party, I think it's really, really great.
I agree with that. Like, yeah.
But I'll give it an 8. I really like it. We don't do it that much, but I really enjoy it, so.
Yeah, talking about stuff like that, like, again, it's not my favorite, and for me, it's not a must-do. But also, for fun, I'm not gonna lie, I do sometimes have fun on this ride. I don't know. I can't drive, and usually I'm pilot, so I'm gonna give it a 7, because it is a fun ride when you have a full party. But if you do not have a full party, you may get stuck with kids as the pilot who doesn't know what they're doing, or like just people who don't know what they're doing, and then no communications or whatever. Yeah, I don't know exactly why I don't really care for this ride. I guess it's just something mentally, because like I gave it pretty high scoring, but also it's not my favorite, and like, yeah, it's not a must do for me. So yeah, next up we are moving on to Toy Story Land. The first one going to be Toy Story Mania. For me, I'm gonna give this queue I'm gonna give it a 7. I think the queue is very cute. The inside of it, definitely. I love the giant things that are in it. And that's all of Toy Story Land's queues, by the way. They're all, like, giant items because you're a toy. Yeah, the theming's really well, which we'll get to that eventually. But the queue, I'm gonna give it a 6, actually. I lied. I keep changing my mind, but that's also because I keep remembering stuff. Like, for example, this queue is outside. And Hollywood Studios gets very hot. But also it's undershading. And then once you actually get inside, it's really cool. Like, there's also, isn't the Mr. Potato Head? Yeah, the Mr. Potato Head is, like, on the side, and he'll talk to you and tell jokes and stuff like that, and you'll walk past him. Really cool. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7. I was gonna give it a 6, but I'm gonna give it a 7 because I have never...
She wants to be quirky.
I guess. I've never waited outside for the ride. Because there's some, like, a very small amount of the queues outside. It's really not that much.
Yeah.
So majority of it is inside when you wait, because the line's not... It's not typically long enough to be outside. But I think the inside's really cute. The big toys and stuff. So, yeah. Theming... I think it's themed pretty well, except for I'm going to go down because it is mostly screens. The ride is mostly screens. So I'm going to give theming actually a 6 because the queue, I think, is the majority of the theming. But I still love the ride. And even though it's a screen ride, it's still themed. So
yeah, I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to go with a 5 because of the screens. Like, and also, which... I guess you can put it as fun. I'll just say it later then. Yeah, the theming, most of it's in the queue, and then also the screens just... It's not it.
Fair enough.
Anyways, with fun, I am going to rate it a 7, because I do have fun on this ride, but also the fact that you have to manually keep pulling the ball or on the string or whatever to shoot the balls... My arms hurt. I do not want to work out in the middle of Disney. But that's just my opinion. I'm lazy. Also, the screens, again, is another huge issue when there's rides like Buzz Lightyear. And also, Buzz Lightyear. So, I'm going to rate it a 7.
Okay.
And I think I want to go lower, but I'm not. Because I've already gone lower.
I love this ride. I'm actually going to give it a 9.5. I was going to give it a 10, but I can't do it. I look forward to... I'm very competitive. I love games. I like to win. I never win, by the way. I love this ride. Like, it feels like it goes by so quick because I'm just, like, locked in. I don't care. The enjoyability is... I don't care about the theming. See, I gave those fair ranks, but, like, I don't care that it's screens. I have so much fun on this ride.
I have fun on it, too, but, like,
I have a 9.5 type of fun. Sometimes a 10. So, but I'm not going to give it a 10.
Yeah.
I won't do that. That's okay.
Okay.
Next up is Slinky Dog Dash, which I have beef with.
Really?
Yeah, we actually, last trip... We rode it at night, which I don't think we've all done before, but we decided to do it. The ride is so cute. It's really cute. I hate the queue. I mean, the entire thing is outside.
Yeah.
It's, like, covered, but you're still out. I do not like the queue. I'm going to give it a 4. The only reason I don't ride this ride more is because of the queue. So, maybe I should give it less, but... I still like the big, toys, and I think it's still themed well, so I won't go lower than that.
I'm going to go one higher and rank it a 5, because I do agree that the queue sucks. Yeah. But also, I really like the... Yeah,
Nope, keep it.
No, I don't think I can. You know what? Fine. We'll leave it a 5. But also, the queue sucks. And it's always a long wait. You're never going to wait under 45 minutes for this ride. 45 minutes is a good wait for this ride. I want to rank
I
it
wouldn't
lower,
even wait that.
Yeah, I would not wait.
Okay, I would not like to wait that.
Yeah,
but
unless it was nighttime and it was cool outside, then maybe. Which I have done, but
I think we waited 45 last time around then. But it was dark, so, like, we weren't sweating. Yeah.
Yeah. For theming, I really like this ride. It is very cute. The theming's really good. I'm gonna give it a 7. I think that, of course, there's better themed things out there, is our motto this entire video. It's true. But also, you're riding in a Slinky Dog, and then when you go up and there's like the 3, 2, 1 go whenever you're like roll back and you're about to launch, and then when you're getting off the ride and there's the potato head that sings to you.
Well, that's the penguin. Wheezy.
Yes, my bad.
Fake fan. Anyways, theming, I'm gonna give it a 6. I think the ride is really cute, but, like, I also think the reason I'm giving it a 6 is because you are riding in the Slinky Dog, which is cool. But most of, like, the stuff on the ride is just Toy Story Land in general, so
Yeah.
I'll give it a 6. At nighttime, though, it would probably go up to an 8.
Mm-hmm.
I think the lights are really cool.
Riding it at night is definitely better than riding it during the day, and if you get a chance, that is a must-do, to ride it at night.
So, I gotta figure this out because we don't ride this every trip, and I don't think it's a must-do unless you have children, because I think this is a great family ride. I really do think it's, like, probably one of the best.
You're breaking my heart.
What?
You're breaking my heart. This is a good ride.
No, but here's my thing. It's not a must-do. And I think if you ride it at night, it is, like, 10 times better than during the day. But I'm not going to take the stupid, dumb queue and the heat into consideration for how enjoyable the ride is. I'll give it a 7.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think it's enjoyable. I mean, it's pretty good. It's not a must-do, so.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.5. This is a really good ride. It is one of my favorites. Not taking the queue into consideration or the long wait times, I would ride this every trip.
But you don't.
But I don't because of the queue and the
So it's not a
time.
must-do. That's my point.
If you're riding it at night, it is.
But, like, that's the difference. Guardians, it's an 85-minute wait. We will wait at some point in the trip. We will wait that long to ride it once. Yeah. Will you for this ride?
But this is fun.
Okay.
This is fun.
Fair enough.
I'm still gonna leave it an 8.5, but I agree with her. Like,
no, I just mean, like, the must-do. Like, do you think it's a must-do? The rating is fine. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering.
I think it is to some degree.
I can see that, yeah.
So not like if it's in the middle of the summer and the wait time is over 45, I do not recommend it. But if you're riding it at night in the middle of the summer and it's like a 45 or like even more, like I would say a 50-minute wait and it's nighttime and cool breezes and stuff like that, I'd say so. But
I could see, I think you either need to rope drop it or park close it. If it's a must-do, I think I would not wait in the middle of the day. In Florida, no. Maybe, like, in the winter.
Yeah.
But I don't know about that.
In the winter, also, people believe that Florida doesn't get cold.
It gets cold.
It gets pretty cold. And I rode it at night in the winter, and I really wish I would have brought my jacket. That is all I'm gonna say. And excuse me, goodness gracious. I don't know what's wrong with me. Do you want to do Q since I did fun.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay.
We've been doing this the whole time.
Well, yeah.
You didn't notice.
Yeah, but
It's your turn to go first.
Oh!
It's taken her 3 episodes to figure this out.
Well, I knew, but I got mixed up. My bad. Now I see it.
Her bad.
My bad. We're gonna go for alien swirling.
Maybe I should have talked.
Exactly. Alien swirling saucers.
Or ASS.
Yes, it is quite literally one of my favorite abbreviations for a ride. Right next to Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
Oh. I was like, what? I got it. Okay.
Anyways, the queue for this ride. It's a 3. I'm gonna give it a 3. There isn't much of a queue, but it is all outside. And the wait times get really long for this ridiculous ride.
Hey now.
It's a fun ride when you're on it. However, not fun enough for the wait time to be 30 minutes.
Yeah, but if it's like a walk-on.
But if it's a walk-on, then it's fine. But we're talking about the queue.
Okay,
there is no queue.
Okay. Then I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay.
It's all outside.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really nothing.
Other than watching the ride. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Theming. Yeah, I'll give it a 2.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it a 1. I think the music is great. They did a good job on the music. And the little aliens are there. So I think it's cute, but, like, it's not really themed. It's not a Disney ride.
Yeah.
It's a ride in Disney.
I agree with her. Hold on.
That's fine. I know you didn't rank it at 22.
Anyways, I agree with her full-heartedly. I honestly like the Baymax version better.
Oh, that is cute.
That is my favorite version of this ride. That's at Tokyo, or Disney Tokyo, or is it Disney Sea? It's Disney Sea.
I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
It's at.
Anyways, yeah, the theming music's good. You get swung around by an alien. That's about it. And then for fun, I'm gonna give it a 3. It's fun. It's not a must-do. I don't ever have really that much of an issue on this ride, but also, like, it's fun if you have little kids, I will say.
Well, it's fun if you're Malia, I guess. I'm gonna give fun a 6.
Wow.
The ride is fun. I mean, it's not a must-do. I'm not gonna, like, you know, go crazy over it. But, like, hey, you put me on this ride, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun.
I have fun on every ride. Like, I'll make...
And it's, like, flings you around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6. Because I think it's pretty fun.
Okay.
Underrated, maybe. But, yeah, I wish it was themed more. If it was themed, I think it would be a pretty good ride.
I do...
Better, but...
Especially if also the queue wasn't all outdoors and uncovered, by the way. So...
Yeah. So what we're going to do real quick is go through and average them, and we'll be right back with, like, the official ranking. So we'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, so we just finished doing the average and ranking it, and the camera is being weird, so we're on my phone. You want to start off with worst to best?
Yeah. So, the worst, we have Alien Swirling Saucers with a 3. I saw that coming.
Yeah. Next up, everything else is ranked above average. Slinky Dog Dash was next at a 6.25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Star Tours was ranked at a 6.33, which...
I think some of these I would, like, switch around, but this
Yeah.
is based off of, like, their queue and everything, so it's not how much we like them, it's just, like, the whole thing. Next up is Toy Story Mania at a 6.75.
And then we have Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at 7.08.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Next up, these two should be switched, but Rockin' is a 7.25.
And then Millennium Falcon is a 7.5, which, yeah.
That's just all things considered, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, after that, the second best, these are our top two. The second best is Rise of the Resistance at an 8.16, and
Tower of Terror is the winner with a straight 10.
which I think that is the first 10 we've had and probably the last.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I think.
I was trying to figure out what we gave Guardians.
I think we rated the queue not a 10.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Theming, maybe. I don't know.
I agree with the first place winner, though.
I agree. Yeah, so our next episode is Friday, and we haven't decided what we're going to do, but we're going to try to do Wavelength, because we haven't done it yet.
Yes.
So we're going to try to do that, so stay tuned, and
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Our socials are down there. If you're listening, go watch, and if you're watching, go listen, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye.